Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Dropkick SoCal. It's me again, Mooski.
And here's Charlieverse.
Alrighty, guys. Just letting you know now, there might be a slight change in scheduling. I guess if you paid attention to our YouTube page, you see we posted on a Monday, trying to compete with Monday Night Raw. Man,
Yeah.
bring back those Monday Night Wars. But yeah, so we might change that up a little bit and try to compete with SmackDown this time, Friday Night Wars. But yeah, point is, we're gonna scheduling around a bit. It's gonna change a bit, but yeah, just keep in mind of that. But for now, man, topic for today. This is the week of Mexican Independence Day, and well, bro, uh, without Lucha Libre, I don't think we would have had much.
We won't have much.
No, if anything at all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. You see, like Lucha Libre, professional wrestling, well, Mexican professional wrestling, it's very rooted in the culture, and I think it even predates some American, right?
I think so. Yeah, I believe that.
If I remember correctly, like they got it from us, which is where they put it like in carnivals and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that topic today. And again, this goes deeply rooted in the tradition. You see a lot of it in pop culture involving Mexican, like Mexican pop culture. Pardon me.
And a lot of cultura, yeah.
Exactly. The big ones, which is I think we've talked about it before. And my mom, the way she got me into it was through the movies of El Santos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically like characters like that, El Santos, Blue Demon, Mil Máscaras, all those guys.
Huracan Ramirez,
El Perro Guayo, man.
yeah, El Perro Aguayo. You had, who else? Well, now you got Cien Caras, you got El Volador
Choo Choo, new
Jr., La
guys.
Parca.
Exactly, newer guys.
Yeah.
Even Conan too.
Yeah, you can't take him out because he helped out a lot.
Yeah.
Or Vampiro.
Vampiro too, yeah.
But he's,
My
that's
mom
whole
was a big
different thing.
Vampiro fan back in the day.
Everybody was a Vampiro
I
fan
guess
back
so,
in the
yeah.
day.
But yeah, these guys, you see, like way back in the day, they were considered like almost real life superheroes come to life. You'd see them out there in the ring, performing amazing stunts, and then you see them star in movies like Santos versus los vampiros, or las momias, or los extraterrestres, the aliens, vampires, the werewolves, all that crap, the witches.
Oh, dude, they were against everybody.
They went against everybody, and
You know how like now there's like Minions 1, Minions 2, Minions 3. Next thing you know, it could be like Minion versus
I'm down.
the teachers.
I'm down.
It's like that now.
I want to see the minions take on freaking vampires, man. Yes.
I wouldn't mind. I just like laugh like, dog, that's where it's going.
It just might.
They got it from El Santo.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's a little brief history on that. And let's see here. Anything else to add, man?
Not from the history. Nah, you covered it.
Well, I guess
Most of it.
Most of it, yeah.
Because if you actually go deep into it, there's a lot that goes into it.
A lot more, man. But
and most of it's like drama and
true, yeah.
Yeah,
like real rivalries between like Demon and like Santos too. They have like
then you have the rivalry between El Consejo versus Triple A. There's a rivalry between the owners of those companies with the wrestlers, because like you see, like La Parca, the one we know as La Parca, is still wrestling.
The original or like
the original?
Original.
He's still wrestling.
Right.
The one that died in Mexico was the second one.
That's right.
And a lot of people, that's where a lot of people started talking, like, why is there a second one? It's like, because back in the day, they used to like own the companies who own the mask, so you couldn't just take your character. It's like WWE now, like you can't just take certain name with you, or a certain character. Like
you gotta switch them up and stuff.
Yeah,
that makes sense. And yeah, and speaking of that, you mentioned the mask. Honestly, like you hear it a lot, but like it's you hear it a lot in like in WWE or like AEW. Like the mask is like one of the biggest parts of any luchador. Yeah, like you see, they work hard for it. You see, like you train, and then like your like mentors and stuff. They see your abilities, they see your personality, and through that, they kind of give you a name, and like
they give you your first mask.
Exactly.
Like your starting one. That's probably not even gonna be your main one, but that's your starting name.
Exactly.
until when you become good enough, then they give you your actual luchador mask. They actually give you like, here's what you're gonna do now.
Exactly. One of the most popular and possibly the most popular luchador now, Rey Mysterio, man. Now, if I remember correctly, I remember hearing that before Rey Mysterio, he was El Alibrije, the hummingbird.
El colibri.
Colibri, there we go.
And then he was like something lizard.
Oh, really? That I
Yeah.
didn't know. Lizard?
Or something like that. It was like, because he had 2 masks before he became Rey Mysterio.
Oh, 2 masks.
Yeah. So, like, keep in mind, he started wrestling when he was like 14, 15 years old. But he started when he was 7. So it's like, he had time to like find his character.
That's good. And speaking of Rey Mysterio, man, we also got to talk about the influence that the luchadors had here too in the States.
Dude, like, there's a lot of influences because you could see, what is it? Almost every wrestling match, everybody's doing the tope suicida.
Exactly, that's where it came
If
from.
it's not that, it's the Hurricanrana. If it's not the Hurricanrana, it's like, it's a lot of
all luchador influenced.
Yeah, so it's like, like, what was the one move that I never knew certain wrestlers do? Is like the gory special. It's a submission hold.
Oh, from Eddie Guerrero's dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Iron Sheik even used it too.
Yeah,
but that
so
was originally...
there's a lot of moves that you're like, dog, I didn't know this was from Mexico until when you actually look into it. Most of it's from Mexico, and
yeah, I know which move you're talking about. I think AEW guy, man, what's his name? He used to be Rusev back in WWE. Miro, there we go. Like, he's been off of TV so long, man. I don't even remember anymore. But let's see here. Yeah, he does that move, originally a luchador move, and going back to that, man, honestly, you cannot not mention the cruiserweight division in WCW.
That was the best cruiserweight division ever.
Exactly, man, because they're the ones who really highlighted, like before that, WWE, well, WWF back in the day, I guess other promotions too, were all like big dudes lifting each other, throwing each other, which again, there's a place for all of that. There is, but
it was mostly that.
Once the smaller guys came in and they started doing these amazing like jumps and acrobatic feats of strength, man, like people were amazed, and that's one of the reasons why people were like tuning out from WWF and tuning into WCW during those Monday Night Wars.
Okay, so check this out, right?
What's up?
So, did you know that in '97, the '97 Royal Rumble had Mexican wrestlers in the Royal Rumble?
Yes,
and they're all names we know, like Mil Máscaras, Latin Lover, Cibernetico, before he even got bigger.
Right.
Okay, so there's that. And then keep in mind, before most of these wrestlers were in WCW, they were in ECW.
That's true.
Because Paul Heyman brought them up from AAA.
Psicosis and Rey
from
Mysterio.
Conan.
Exactly.
And so you had Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho. These guys were the legit stars in Mexico. Then they brought them up here. If Paul Heyman didn't do that, we wouldn't know Chris Jericho right now.
No,
we wouldn't know Eddie. We wouldn't know Benoit. We wouldn't know all these cruiserweights that were already big out there. We wouldn't know about them.
No, we wouldn't, man. Thank you, Heyman.
For once, thank you.
For what?
No, for me.
Okay.
For me, because there's a lot of things I don't like about him, but for me, thank you.
It's all good. Yeah, no, man. I mean, everybody's, And so going back to, the older brands that are no longer with us, ECW, WCW, dude, I gotta be honest. One match that I personally believe truly personifies the cruiserweight division, and at the same time highlights the Mexican tradition of like Lucha Libre. I think you already know.
Which one?
I think it was 1996. Bash at the Beach, I think. I could be wrong. Or was it Halloween? I think it was Halloween Havoc.
Halloween Havoc.
Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio.
Oh
my God.
That was a good one.
That's the one, man. That, like I said, that highlights the amazing style, Mexican style of wrestling, along with just the overall cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
Guys, if you haven't seen that match,
you need to see it.
You gotta see it. Like, even before that, man, people knew that the whole high-flying ability, that was going to be the future. That was the style. That's literally
the future.
Indeed. One example I could think of, if I remember correctly, Owen Hart versus Bret Hart,
Yeah.
the opening to WrestleMania 10.
Yeah.
They were doing shit, probably not as advanced as it is now, but they were doing stuff coming
Yeah.
from like
Yeah. True.
jumping off the top rope because they knew that's where it was going.
Yeah. But yeah, like that was a good match.
Eddie Guerrero,
Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio.
amazing, man.
That was a good one. Well, you see that WWE try to replicate it, but they like butchered it.
You mean lately?
The only recent one that they
The
did.
205 thing, right?
Oh, dude. And like to me is for cruiserweights to actually do their thing. Just let them be. Like, don't try to put them all in one spot.
I know,
like,
yeah, true, man.
Like, what's it now? For example, who was it? It was a Defiant Wrestling.
Defiant?
It's the UK promotion. Well, they used to be, because they're out of business. They had like a World Cup kind of thing, and they had wrestlers from every country, like Mexico, UK, United States, and it was like Will Ospreay versus Rey Mysterio, or Rey Mysterio versus Ricochet.
That's where they fought? I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like you got to see like all types of wrestling styles, because you saw strong style, you saw cruiserweight, lucha libre, you saw powerhouse, and I like watching that because it's like, okay, now this is actual lucha libre. Even though it's from the UK, it's like this is what it's supposed to look like. Because out here, you see a powerhouse, you already know, he's gonna wipe out everybody. He's gonna nah. Out there, it's like at least the lucha libre dude, the luchador, has a chance to probably take down the powerhouse.
Exactly. Rey Mysterio did that back in the day, right? He had like a character, the Giant Killer or something.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was only against Big Show.
Just that? That was it?
He only had Big Show. It was when he was against Big Show, I think Kane and Undertaker. But it was like.
But wait. This is WCW, isn't it? Yeah, back when he didn't have the mask anymore, he was going by like the Giant Killer. Remember?
I don't know, because like after he lost the mask, I stopped watching.
To be honest, I get you.
I'm like, don't take away the one thing that makes it him.
Well, they brought it back once he moved over to WWE.
Yeah, but you gotta ask for permission though.
True, yeah. That's like we were talking about.
Yeah, because part of the culture of being a luchador with a mask is that you have to talk to a certain wrestling council in Mexico, to say like, hey, can I wrestle with my mask again?
Wow, that I didn't know, man.
Because it's their own little rule of wrestling, let's say. So, like, for example, if I lost my mask today, I can't wear it again unless I have to go talk to him, like, hey, can I wear a different mask? Or unless you're Eddie Guerrero, he started with a mask, and he deliberately said, like, you know what, I don't want this no more, and he went and lost a match and took his mask off.
His decision.
Otherwise we don't want to see Eddie Guerrero the way he was.
Right. And speaking of Eddie Guerrero, man, like, definitely one of the biggest reasons Lucha Libre was able, because it's not just in Mexico, and in the States and in Japan too. For those of you who didn't know, if you're familiar with your like your New Japan Pro Wrestling, all that stuff, Eddie Guerrero used to be one of the reincarnations of Black Tiger, right?
I think
he was, man. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, like one of the older ones. Yeah,
one of the older ones. Yeah. So like Eddie Guerrero,
dude, he was around.
Yeah, he was.
Everybody knew him. It wasn't just like out here in the States or in Texas or in Mexico. Like, everybody knew him.
Whole wrestling world knew him. Japan, freaking, where else? In Mexico, obviously. The United States, and then overall he comes from a whole like wrestling family.
Yeah, pretty much.
Indeed, man. And there's like, speaking of Santos, there's like more like rooted history in there, with their families as well.
Yeah, because did you know this? That Gori Guerrero used to be El Santos' tag team partner.
Oh, tag team partner.
And so was Eddie Guerrero with El Santo Jr.
Really? I thought they were rivals.
They became rivals.
Oh, what?
Or something like that. But it was Eddie Guerrero and El Santo Jr. They were rivals. First, they were tag team partners, then they were rivals. But that was before, before he came to WCW and all that. So it's like that little brief moment. It's like, oh damn, he was actually against somebody that everybody knew back then.
Hmm. Interesting. Dang, man. No, that's something I learned today.
Yeah.
Wow. Alrighty. Actually, didn't they have like a uh let's see here. This is another example of like I gotta say that for those of you who think that I love AEW, man, just a little side topic here. For those of you who think that like the Forbidden Door has kept like things from like collabing, different promotions from collabing all this time, it's actually been open for a lot longer than you think. You remember that? I mean, obviously we weren't really around for it, but there was this whole like mash with like Lucha Libre from Mexico, and I don't know if it was NWA or WCW, where they had that one match with Eddie Guerrero's team. I think it was Los Gringos Locos or something versus El Hijo de Santos and
That was WCW and AAA.
Triple A. There we go.
Because that's the part I was telling you about. That's when they were rivals.
Oh, you were. Oh, sorry, you were.
So
heading
it
into
was
that.
still part of it. And keep in mind, the Forbidden Door was always open,
It was.
but because we only knew the WWE side, because that's the only one that's visible.
Exactly.
So like, keep in mind in the 90s,
Early mid '90s, sometime around.
80s, 90s, and all the time before the 2000s, they used to have communication. They used to send wrestlers to Japan. They used to send wrestlers to Mexico. But the thing is, once Vince McMahon started buying all these promotions, he's like, nah, it's only me. I can only play with, And then when you look at TNA, because I got into TNA around 2004, 2005, like almost right at the beginning of it. I don't know when it started, but I got almost to the beginning. I knew what the X Division was. Like the original. It was like another version of the Cruiserweight division.
From WCW.
In a sense. Because that's where I saw AJ Styles for the first time. Christopher Daniels. Samoa Joe. But he wasn't part of the Cruiserweights. But he
could move like a Cruiserweight back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day, hell
even
yeah.
more back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I saw all of that. So it was like cool. And so, you catch all of that. And there was the thing that they had in TNA it was like almost like a World Cup thing where they had luchadores from Japan, Mexico, Canada, the US, and they had everybody from different promotions defending their country to get the World Cup. And it was like the best thing ever because sometimes the US wouldn't win. And there was like, I think like once or twice that they won, but it was mostly Mexico or mostly Japan. And that's when you're like, oh, damn. That's where the first time I seen, was it Okada?
Kazuchika Okada?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, shit.
Or, I can't remember which specifically because it's been a long time since I've seen it. But from the Mexico side, it was like El Rey Bucanero. It was names that you know now. You're like, oh, damn. Like, I didn't know these guys wrestled in TNA for a minute.
Yeah, oh, that I am aware of. But didn't Okada get some kind of like Green Hornet gimmick that didn't?
Yeah, that he didn't really like.
Yeah,
he's like, you know what, nah.
We shouldn't talk about that.
Yes, but pretty much it was like the Forbidden Door was already open. It just the thing is now everybody sees AEW because now it's in a
mainstream.
It's in a bigger light.
Exactly.
TNA wasn't.
No, it
TNA was
wasn't.
like another version of ECW and
Trying to compete with WWE.
Yeah,
and it had its moments.
And it had it. The only thing that ruined it was Hulk Hogan. I'm still saying it. He ruined it.
No, I agree with you. Like, everyone was excited, but then
Dude, like, you know how fun it was watching a wrestling promotion from out here wrestle in a 6-sided ring?
They took that away.
They took away the ring size. They made it shorter. So now, like, so the older wrestlers wouldn't hassle. And it was mostly Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan, and Sting. So, like, I love Sting.
He wrestled in the 6-sided ring.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was mostly for them. It wasn't really for everybody else.
Your time is over, guys.
And a match that I liked from that time, it was like the Feast or Fired.
Feast or Fire?
Feast or Fired. It was like a Money in the Bank.
Oh, really?
It was 4 briefcases.
4, okay.
3 of them had a championship deal, and 1 was the pink slip.
Oh, you got fired.
And that was like the best wrestling thing ever to me. But the bad thing was that you had to like watch the following episodes of TNA
Gotcha.
to know who got fired.
Damn.
And I was like, this sucks. But yeah, but back to the whole Mexican Lucha Libre, like, because now if you see wrestling in Mexico, they have gotten so many characteristics from out here
And we still have like wrestlers going over there now too. So
because it's better out there. As far as wrestling, because at least you're getting a chance to train and wrestle.
right.
Out here, you have to wait. You have to be either in, what is it, the performance center,
It would, yeah.
and you have to learn how to talk.
Exactly.
And
They're WWE style. They want you to
out there is like
more liberty.
you know how to move around. Yeah. Do you know how to fall? Yeah. All right, you're in. Because they don't really talk out there.
No,
The ones who talk more is the commentators. That's why I used to love watching AAA, because the commentators were the ones who talking all the crap they wanted. You know?
I got you, man. I got you.
So yeah. Okay, but talking about the whole Mexican wrestling, right? So let me tell you this one story.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay, so it was this year, to be honest.
Right, what happened?
Okay, I have one of my brother's friends from like way back in the day. She would talk to me here and there. I wouldn't really talk to her, but it's like one of those people that they're just there.
Gotcha.
So one day, like, you know me, I'm big. Right. So there's not that many clothes that I could put on that makes me look tough.
Okay.
So I took a picture of my vest that I was working on. It still didn't have any patches, didn't have anything on it, or pins or anything.
Gotcha.
So I just put it on. No shirt. Keep that in mind. No shirt.
All right.
And I had a certain pose that I still do in every picture that I do.
All right.
But I still had like I haven't cut the sides nor the back of my hair, just like let everything grow. And she told me, hey, you should be a wrestler. And I'm like, man, she's just tripping. Whatever. And then she told me about this promotion. I think it's from California. I'm not super sure.
Also, right in our backyard, man.
And it's called Vavoom.
Vavoom.
It's a burlesque wrestling show.
Okay, I'm interested now.
And it happens so. There's not a lot of dates,
right?
Because they only do one tour per year. Because most of the people that are wrestlers for it, they wrestle for other promotions, and whenever they certain dates, they just come out here and wrestle, and they'll do California and then Arizona or something like that. But it's a really like indie. So I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, whatever. But I'm like, in my mind, like, I have to like go get trained for that, right? I can't just say, oh, I'm gonna be a wrestler.
True, yeah.
Or a luchador. Like, you have to learn how to fall properly.
Exactly.
Or how to take a hit. Like, I ain't just
learn
gonna
to tuck your chin, all that stuff.
Tuck your chin.
Exactly.
And then me being a big dude, I need to like know how to take certain hits. You can't just go up there and like, oh, yeah, I would like to wrestle this match. Like, take me in. Like, no, you have to like learn. And it was funny. Like, damn, like you see me as a wrestler. Like, cool. Like, what would my name be? And she would give me like all these tough guy names. I'm like, dang, it looks like you don't really know me. Like, I don't want to be that. No.
What's one of them? If you don't mind sharing, just one.
I can't remember the names.
No,
because they were all like names that didn't make sense. It was like like Ace or Deuce. It was like one of those old school 80s.
Yeah, generic
ass names. Just because of my vest, I'm like, man, I'm gonna get my ass kicked just because you want me to be a wrestler, just because you see me with my vest on.
Gotcha.
I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Dang.
And plus, you need to have hella cardio for that.
That's true, man. Yeah.
And I'm like, I ain't gonna do a great colleague kind of crap. Like, just walk around. Like,
I feel you.
I can't power bomb nobody. So, like, nah, I'm good.
I feel you, man. Well, speaking of that, dude, I guess one last thing, man. Like, like becoming a wrestler and stuff like that, and like the WWE, specifically on WWE, like being the main, it still kind of is, man. Yeah. Going back to some of those wrestlers, Rey Mysterio still kind of representing the the Lucha Libre history and tradition.
Because he's the only one that's old school.
Exactly. Now, obviously, one thing I've thought about, man. He doesn't have much time left. He's in his
He
40s,
doesn't. He
but
doesn't.
he's still good.
40s or
Yeah, he's
yeah,
in his,
yeah,
I
he's
think he's
40s.
about to hit 50, but no, he's still. Hey, dude, you know what they say, man? With us, Brown don't break down.
I know.
Just saying.
I know.
Yeah, but no, you see, I gotta ask this, man.
What's up?
Who can take that place to represent like the Lucha Libre history and tradition and style after Rey Mysterio? Like, I know right now they're trying hard with his son, you know, like interesting storyline. Technique wise, he's still got a lot to learn. Like, and I'm no wrestler and stuff, but like, you know, like he still need a lot more training.
In my opinion, it's not gonna be him.
All right.
He could take on the Mysterio name, which I'm like kind of dumb saying, "Oh, Mysterio's their last name." Like, no, it's not. It's just their name.
Exactly.
But it's not gonna be him. I feel it. It could be. I don't know his freaking name. I know the other fool's name. Angel Garza.
I thought you were gonna say that because other
If
people
if it's not him, it's probably his actual cousin.
right, Humberto, right?
Yeah, but they need to change the name
Right, I
because
get
nobody
you.
can say that. But it's probably Angel Garza because he gives me Eddie Guerrero vibes. If he could actually do it,
I could see that definitely, man.
or unless Andrade comes back,
Joe Andrade.
and I'll pick Andrade over Garza.
Gotcha. And well, dude, now with Triple H in charge,
It's possible.
we could see that.
It's possible.
Plus, his wife Charlotte's there, so
That's even more
I mean,
possible.
come on, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, man, that's gonna be interesting. But I could definitely see that Angel Garza or Andrade.
And I'm saying them more because they actually worked in AAA.
Right.
They actually worked Mexican wrestling. So they know what's up. The only hard part would be like actually accepting it.
True.
Because we could say, oh, like, you know, now when, like, what is it? When tomorrow, the 15th or the 16th, or anytime from the 15th for the whole month, everybody's going to do the Tres Amigos, everybody's going to do the Frog Splash, everybody's going to do the Latino Heat Shake.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to do it. But who's going to end up actually do it, you know, keep that spirit alive?
Actually represented.
And I think it's Garza. I think.
All right.
But, you know, I could be wrong.
Well, you never know, man. And at the end of the day, he's got the capability and he's got the skills. He's great at playing a heel so far.
He has the physique, he has the mentality, he has the whole thing.
Yeah, and we also need to see him as a face. You know, you got to be. Eddie Guerrero was a great heel and a face.
Dude, he could be anything. He was like our Stone Cold. He could be a heel, he could be a face, and people still love him no matter what.
Yeah, I never got to see him in AAA and stuff like that, man. But I'll give some research.
Well, in AAA, a lot of people didn't really. It wasn't like as he was noticeable in WWE.
Gotcha.
Because keep in mind, when it was still WWF, when he was there, everybody knew him because of China.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he first.
Wait, Angel Garza?
No, Eddie Guerrero.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I should have said that. But with Garza, in AAA, it was mostly him tag teaming with Humberto.
Gotcha.
Basically, it was the same. It was the same thing, and that's when I found out they were cousins.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh damn.
I found that when they got over here.
Yeah, I didn't know about them. I just knew about Andrade, and then when you find out certain people are family with other certain people,
Gotcha.
and like, oh damn, I didn't know they were family.
Makes sense. And I think, well, big part of it, man, is like he's got the capability, but sorry,
It's all the elotero.
I know it's the elotero, man. People,
He's representing us.
I know he is. Like, if you guys are from LA, you'll know what we're talking about. But basically, I think another big deal, man, is if they see that, if they see the potential in Angel Garza, it's gonna depend how WWE will push him and stuff, you know, and just how well they will.
Well, you saw like with Rey Mysterio, like they gave him that first push because of the whole momentum with Eddie.
Exactly.
And when he won the Royal Rumble, dude, all the Mexican kids I knew were
Hell
like,
yeah.
we were happy. We didn't care who, like, if it was him or Eddie. We just want somebody to win that we knew.
Exactly, and then he was winning it for Eddie, cause damn.
Yeah, and then but the whole aftermath, I'm
No,
like, why?
no. Do not talk about the aftermath.
The whole man, that
no,
sucked.
No, don't talk about that.
Okay, I'm not gonna talk about it.
Okay.
But even you know,
Right.
Yeah, we're not gonna touch it. But,
Vince is gone. Thank goodness.
But the whole, the whole part of him winning it, and he came out in a lowrider, and it was like he came out in an Eddie Guerrero shirt, and I was like, dude, I started crying when I saw that, and I was like, freaking hell,
real.
It was real, dude.
Yeah, no, indeed it was, man. Well, we just gotta wait to see what the future holds, man, for Latino heritage in pro wrestling, specifically the Lucha Libre.
I hope they push it though.
They will, man. I mean,
I hope
Triple H pushed Andrade really well, and I have confidence in both. Also, AEW, the way they're pushing the Lucha Bros, like incredible too.
Oh, dude, that's a whole different level.
Exactly. Okay, probably a discussion for next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys. So yeah, guys. Feliz Día de Independencia a toda la raza, pues, como diría.
A todos los mexicanos, los salvadoreños, and I can't remember who else, but we all share the same Independence Day.
That's right.
I was gonna say Mexican Independence Day, like Independence Day.
Not
we all share
Mexican.
Yeah, but we all share that.
Okay.
And happy Hispanic Heritage Month.
Mm-hmm.
And keep it cool.
Yeah, and again, guys, like Eddie would say, que viva la raza! Come on, man.
I know. I was about to do something else, but yeah, viva la raza.
All right. All right, guys. All right, so we'll see you all in the next episode. And take care, guys. Again, viva la raza.
Peace.